At fair 17, she had fair manufactured her top productivity at a great helmet, manufacturing the semifinals at Wimbledon in 2000. Though Dokic was a youthful Pong miracle who had frustrated protecting defend Martina Hingis in the at first circle of Wimbledon the year up, it was the top run of her lifetime. But down there were to be no celebrations, nor a arm to cry on, following the matchstick that she lose to us Lindsay Ottoman. While she eventually got via to him on the telephone, the terrible misuse she says she incurred with the age of 6 begun once again. This boring stain in his sluggish, noisy vote tells me he is drunken, Dokic writes. I aware the color, he's the color of White's vine and perhaps a few spectacles of whiskey. He is irate. Angry how I lose. His vote booms downward the telephone, thou are emotional, you are a desperate heifer, you are not to go household. You are in confusion. You can't remain at our inn. No nice quite to go household though Jelena tested to beg in him, he quickly suspended up. She later hid off in the players' hall before she was found at 11 p.m. by a janitor, who warned the Wimbledon judge, Alan Mills. He named her Control, who put her up for the overnight in a building they were leasing shut to the perspectives. I include fair done the semifinals of Wimbledon, Dokic writes. Yet in my dad's eyes I am not nice quite to go household. Shatterproof is both of a disgusting and deep driving expense of the outwardly non-stop natural word and psychological misuse she says her dad Damir Dokic initiated on her as she climbed the Pong rankings. I nearly devoted suicidal thing modified following I rotated 30, she told. I was capable to eventually get off of the history and all how went on. I've got superior mental and I thick felt love it was thing I could do currently. I was powerful quite. He's a really hard object how I say on in the volume, not fair my dad and the entire sum of misuse how went on of the age of 6, cute lot, for above 20 year. I battled depressive for a really length period, nearly 10 year, and I nearly devoted suicidal at one phase. Unborn in Osijek, Croatia, Dokic, her parents and her junior sibling were refugees 2 times as war devastated the Balkans. At first while escaping of Croatia to Serbia, wherever they lived in a rat-infested store barn, and later in 1994 as they excited to Sydney, Australia. Her Pong career, although, had already started. Terror of him drives me, she rotated out to be extremely gifted, and for her dad, Pong became a way to raise the household out of poverty reduction. But Dokic says the misuse began nearly once. She was yet just 6 while her dad at first slapped her in the person following a Pong meeting. Though she once rang her mom to speak her on it, she doesn't urge him out on the misuse, she writes in her volume, published by Penguin Accidental Building Australia. In the smack, my dad has entered me to thing how will do me shiny on the trial, terror, she writes. Terror of him drives me to job stronger to enhance. Of later on, Dokic says she incurred year of misuse at the hands of her dad, range of creature quarrel at 2 beatings in a skin waist, creature kicked and creature named slob and slut while she was a adolescent. One of the lowest beatings came for the Du Moria outdoor in Canada in 2000, while her dad affected her so difficult following a destruction how she lose mind, she detailed information in her volume. Dokic incurred her misuse in silent, at one phase refusal to speak the police force which happened following they were named next a beaten at a inn while she was 14. Though the Planet's print quickly marked her dad the Pong dad of Hades as he controlled to get oneself deserted out of 3 of the 4 persons majors for his violent behavior, really few human beings work in Pong tested to assist. Instead of, Dokic was constrained to openly protect her dad in clique conferences, that led to a tense relation in the print. In spite the misuse and headlines, her Pong career thrived. At fair 16, she achieved the 1999 Wimbledon quarterfinals. A year after, she done the recent 4 persons at Wimbledon. Following achieving the 2002 France outdoor quarterfinals, her rank pointed at not 4. Which if Dokic ruined complimentary of her dad, outgoing in the medium of the overnight in fair her racket bag and a bag, in October 2002. She was without a penny following. She says he stored largest of her $4.50 millionth in award cash. But of 2004 on, her rank plummeted as she battled harsh depressive. Dokic did do a success return at the 2009 Australia Outdoor, wherever she achieved the quarterfinals, up modest in 2014, possessing won 6 WTA tournaments. Does she always miracle, which she could include reached in more than supporting of her household? I believe I would include got apparently future, Dokic told. A lot of human beings say I perhaps would include won a great helmet or been number one in the planet. He's difficult at times to believe on how and supervise how, not though of a outcome prospect, but occasionally of looking at some human beings and players, possessing how supporting and regular household position, that I never had. It could occur once again, though down there is now lot more than emotion supporting for players on the females round compared to while Dokic was game. This WTA now has a skilled advisor looking following psychological and emotion public health and so creature, she doesn't guideline out some players creature offended by parents or coaches. He's thing how's ever happened in Pong, he's one of the highest paid sport and largest sport for female in the planet and sadly a lot of parents, particularly in poorer countries and poorer families, he's thing they discover type of as in flee, and they shove their guys since they see all the cash in the kind of sports and he's just receive greater, she told. 4 persons year following her resignation, Dokic divides her period among TV comment and motivation talk. She is as well start a basis to lift knowledge on national abuse and is lathe her volume in a TV document, that will prime at following year's Australia Outdoor. She says she is lucky, yet loves game Pong and ambition of with hope possessing guys one date in her length-term young man. To her Saki, as for her dad, Dokic told she is no much longer in concern in him. I did try to conciliate a few times, she told. I completely tested all and it fair wasn't discover it difficult to include any type of communicating in him, same's a really hard man and as well doesn't believe he did whatever incorrect and can't very though apologize. He's type of difficult to go on of down there, she told. Pong Australia told concerns had been grown on Dokic's distress at the period but told it was incapable to explore out of a particular appeal. All of us at Pong Australia clap Jelena's bravery in expressive her history and will go on to supporting her in any way we can, Pong Australia told in a declaration while the volume was at first published in November. Down there were lot in Pong at the period who were worried for Jelena's well-being, and lot who tested to help in which was a hard household position. Dokic hopes her history will assist other. We do requirement to begin increase knowledge of misuse, national abuse, in kind of sports and as well external of kind of sports, she told. Down there are yet so lot female and family out down there who for certainly are frightened to say on it, they're frightened to be convicted. They might not include the force and the bravery, how's why we requirement to try to do a lot more than.